Just though, not to waste any time, Buhari has shifted the burden of subsidy removal to his successor, whoever that would be. All right, but it's just what it is on the papers this morning, and then we deduct over 1 trillion naira from FAAC in 6 months. Subsidy extension stalls Petroleum Industry Act, that is PIA. Petrol subsidy retained for political reasons. Experts. Now you do not need any expert, prophet, predictor, indices to know this one. All right, and it's already very clear the reason they have to do what they're doing. Okay. Now before we even come to that reason, corruption. Nigeria drops. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? I'm so sorry. Audio went off. So it's back. You know, we're talking about definition of irony, definition of oxymoron, paradox, antithesis, and the rest. What you just have to do is, if you want to explain it to younger persons, what is irony, what is oxymoron, what is everything, do not look for words to explain yourself or to describe anything. Just say, oh, think Nigeria. Daddy, okay, that's irony. Nigeria is irony, yes. Okay, Daddy, Mommy, what about oxymoron? Oxymoron, think Nigeria. Oh, Nigeria is oxymoron. Okay. What about paradox? Can you help me explain? Paradox, think Nigeria. Nigeria is paradox. Oh, out that. And then what about antithesis? Nigeria. You know why it is so? Because when you have possibilities and people have to wallow in impossibilities, you just have to understand why. That is the best way to describe a figurative expression or term. You know. So examples are when you have a situation that should make it possible or easy for something to be done. And that is the place where the most difficulty is. Or impossibility. Just know that is irony. For instance, okay, they say Nigeria is supplying some other countries electricity, right? But we don't have. What other explanation? Or okay, we have petrol, we have crude oil. And you would expect that Nigerians should have the cheapest crude. But guess what? This we buy, like, they have to first export it to go and enrich some people. Like most of these people, we don't want to mention their names now because they will always come after you. They own refineries abroad. One of them has in Rwanda, but we don't have in Nigeria. And they told us they spent up to how many? Was it billions? 16 billion trying to repair the ones we had when the person was in power. And then we now heard that he has. So you understand why we always have to export first and bring it back to enrich, to make sure that they patronize those people's businesses and bring it back to the country. We will have to buy it higher. Now, tell me, what else is paradox? Okay, we have all these resources, and you see that countries, Dubai especially, that are prospering without half of the resources we have. And those of us who have the resources, we're suffering. Okay, we also export cement, right? All right. But we buy it almost at the most expensive price here. So that's so when global corruption index now one no, we just keep stupid. And then to cap it all, the higher the number of churches or religious centers we have, the more the corruptions, the more the incidences of corruption. If religion is not moral, does not translate to morality, then what are we doing with it? If religion does not translate to morality, what then is the purpose? What are we using it for? To oppress other people, in it? Like you go to church every Sunday, you want to let them know that, yes, I can dress fine, I look good, my makeup is the best. You want to associate, you want to oppress other people, you want to form class, you want to. What else are you doing in church? Nothing. So depending on what church you even attend, will tell your purpose of going. Easily. So if this is what at the end of the day we'll have, the other time they told us that by the time producers of Condom, what do you call this? Yeah, first quarter or whatever quarter reports, we learned that they had sold about, was it 6 billion packs of condom in the first quarter of the year. Then the question is, we are Christians and Muslims. Who is using it? I'm sorry. You know, we're supposed to be, we pray 5 times every day as Muslims. We go to church on Monday for digging deep, Thursday faith clinic, Friday vigil, Saturday workers prep. As early as 6 a.m. we're already on our way to church on Sunday because we'll officiate as ministers. And yet we are the most corrupt. Gentlemen and ladies, any time we stop this religious hypocrisy altogether. And then we also have to cap it up, we have EFCC, we have ICPC, we have the SUSUSUSIS, we have police, you have DSS, you have everything, you have SARS. And yet it is only the poor people that all of these things are created for. Yet you must have to steal to have immunity from all these things. And if you are poor, those things are created for you. And yet, all of these things are supposedly created to prevent corruption. And yet, you must be highly corrupt to be immune from these things. We're talking about fuel subsidy. So, the minister says it will stay till end of Buhari's tenure. And then, if they are saying it by themselves, we understand that it's political. So we don't need an expert to tell us the reason they are doing it. What they are simply trying to tell us is it will still be waste. They are only postponing. At that time, they will now remove it. All the ones from now that they are suspending, the price they will now jack it to. Oh, Billy. You know, Jesus. Nigeria sinks deeper, ranks 154 on corruption perception index, says Transparency International. Is now the second most corrupt country in West Africa. No be shagun talk. These days is Buhari defies subsidy removal to incoming government, whoever that will be. If you like, let it be Mogalu. If you like, let it be Drotoye. If you like, let it be Shore. If you like, let it be he has defied it till the incoming government. Right? The next paper is saying government will borrow more as states struggle to survive. OPS ones. States are struggling. Was there ever a time they are not struggling? You know, you hear about the bailouts, you hear about borrowing more, you hear about this. Every day we borrow more, and yet we don't see. I'm using battery. Oh, light. You want to go out now, you'll be afraid. Oh, God, that road. Here? I'm like, jeez. That is even if you're not going interstate. If you're going interstate now, oh God, you'll be afraid. Oh, kidnappers. Oh, this or that. If you hear our security budget every year, hey, oh including subsidy, supplementary at every time. They always come up with supplementary. Like, okay, yes, we budgeted this, blah blah blah. What is budget performance? Okay, because of insecurity in Zamfara every day, they will ask for more money. Oh, government will now start donating more, borrowing more outside of budgetary projections or provisions, borrowing more. And yet, the more they borrow, you see why I say Nigeria is a paradox, a big irony, big antithesis, big oxymoron. The more you budget for something, the worse the purpose for which you're doing it gets. The more you build more churches, the more immorality will come. Even inside the church. In fact, it's inside the churches now that you hear more cases of pastor raping, more pregnancies, immoralities are even. In fact, those ones are even fair to some extent. When you with it's not fair at all, but when you compare with other crimes we hear now, like children just go missing, children just go missing in the church, and by the time they find out where the missing child is, it would have been pastor's cupboard, will be located, found in pastor's cupboard. Nigeria faces higher budget deficit on reviewed. Is it revised subsidy? What is revived? Okay, they bring it back. They revive subsidy. Okay, higher budget deficit. You go receive where money they go again. So when they want to give you excuse at the end of the budget analysis, excuse why there was low budgetary performance, they would say, oh, because of subsidy. We planned or we projected that we were not going to have subsidy, but because of the outcry and planned protest by NLC, we decided, okay, let's just. So we now have to take out of what we budgeted for road to fund, or what we budgeted for electricity to now fund subsidy. On top of it, they will still borrow more. This particular paper is talking about, yeah, Nigeria drops Electoral Act Amendment, National Assembly passes harmonized bill, NLC suspends planned protests, Borno newly acquired Tucano aircraft eliminates ISWAP commander. I don't know how many Boko Haram and ISWAP commanders we already have in this country, though. But anyways, gentlemen and ladies, I want to take this moment to appreciate one person sent 50,000. Not this case. One person sent 50,000 naira to assist these two pregnant ladies we talk about. Yeah, these two pregnant ladies. So they have now given 25,000 each. They are full of appreciation. Thank you so much for coming to intervene. We still need more, because this is just to help them go and get tests. Like the first Bukomi case will have to go and get tested. Whatever they can administer immediately, they'll start, and then subsequently proper treatments. She will still need more money. And the other lady, yes, got to register for antenatal. We'll just continue to monitor her. Now the third case is the one this one is more popular, and some of you already know. It's just that we have to make sure that there is enough fund for them before the operation day. So that is what the doctors advise. Let us make sure we have enough fund. At least say between 200, 250 or 300. Let's just have something in their account, so that by the time they say, oh yeah, pay for this, pay for that, we will not now start rolling up and down. So please, that is the account number for the husband on the screen. You may want to give me a screenshot on WhatsApp if you don't mind, so that I can always call them to check. Oh, did you get also fund? Somebody sent you this. So that's the account number of the husband on the screen. And please do. God bless you as you do. I want to once again appreciate that person who sent that 50,000 to support those first two cases yesterday. May your pocket never run dry. And for me, that's humanity. I always say it. Humanity is religion. If you do what Bible says you should do, love your neighbor as yourself. It doesn't matter whether you go to church or which church, whether it is Pentecostal, Celestial, Anglican, Methodist, whatever. For me, my opinion. I'm so sorry, because I don't even know if Jesus comes back today. I don't know which of the churches he will first attend. So let me before. Which of these churches do you think he will attend? He will not. I'm not sure he will enter any of these churches. It's sad. Nigerian churches are sad narratives, but I'm not going to discourage anybody from going. It's not a bad idea. this do in remembrance of me, and then do not forsake the gathering of the brethren, is not part of the commandments of God. It is just like, okay, as way of oiling or studying together, let's not forsake. Those are accessories to the main command. The main commandment is not gather and pray together. They are just accessories too, But at any rate, the point A is, for me, humanity is love your neighbor as yourself. If you are doing it, you're already a Christian. Because to be Christian means to be Christ-like, and that is what Christ commanded. He said, when you see these people and you do for them, you have done for me. Because that is what Christ himself would have done. So to be a Christian or Christ-like, you see all these things affecting humanity, you intervene, you do your own bit, you beat. So that's you give those who truly need to have more than you. Because that's what I see many Christians doing. Giving to your pastor already has 6-7 private jets. You give him more to who already has more, while those who don't have are suffering. So if you do this, you're already a Christian without going to church. The same way, if you do all these things, you're already a Muslim. All these things are in practice. They are not necessarily in the cognomen or, labeling or what you call yourself. So it is in the practice what you do to humanity at the end of the day. Gentlemen and ladies, I want to record here. And if you have not already, because now people are coming into this idea, I would like to, because the price is about to go up. Don't say Shegun didn't mention it. The price is about to go up now that they have people keying into it and the project has started. People are now queuing into the Quantum Bricks Estate project. So if you are still contemplating, this is the best time for you to just take that decision right away before the price goes. And be like, but this is not the price. Well, we are informing you now that the price is about to go higher. So join at the early stage. First phase is starting. This is way lower than market price for projects like this. This is the entry phase. So I like to key in now. So Aaron, key in now. Still very affordable rate. Kickstart fully. Price goes up. So listen to the message again from Adeola Fayon. I'll see you again another time. I love you all.
Really inspired by this man's story, even though he's paying us to talk about the ad. But before we get to the ad, ladies and gentlemen, please meet Mr. Abiodun Akinyemi, a man who is looking to solve the big chunk of the housing crisis that we have in Nigeria by making affordable, self-sufficient homes. This kind of homes are becoming more and more popular, by the way, because they are efficient and they are environmentally friendly, and then it costs less to make them if you think about it in the long run. Anyway, before I tell you about the smart homes that he's building, let me tell you a little bit about his story. He's based in Canada right now, and he decided to build a house in Lagos, Nigeria, where he's from. But upon making inquiries, the cost of building a house has increased significantly since he moved to Canada. So instead of using concrete brick throughout his construction, he substituted it with laterite, and he was able to save 30% of the construction cost. Laterite has a lot of advantages, by the way, including warming your home during the cold weather, cooling your home in the hot season. It's cheaper because it's readily available. It's everywhere in Nigeria. It has high clay content, which means it can hold more water. Laterite gives you better air quality. So if you build your house with laterite, you can breathe in better air quality. You can even recycle it. So if you build a house with laterite and you don't like it, you can break down the house and use the brick to build another house. And that's just to name a few of the advantages. But he didn't stop at building his personal house. He decided to make his house self-sufficient, off-grid, which means that he's not going to be dependent on the electricity from the Nigerian government. So he's using solar power, and he's also not going to be using power generator, so there will be no noise, no air pollution. At the same time, he's not using the regular sockaway that everybody uses in Nigeria. He's disposing his own waste material by decomposing it, and he's generating his own water. So once the house is completed, he doesn't need anything from them. And this is why they call this home self-sufficient, off-grid homes. That alone inspires me. The fact that he was able to find an alternative to just spending so much money on building a house. And the fact that he doesn't have to depend on the government, he made himself a self-sufficient house. house. That is the inspiration for me. But then he took it a step further. So after learning from his own experience, he wants to do the same for others, except that he wants to do it better. If you see the picture of the house, you may not be too impressed by the aesthetic, but he calls this the experimental house because what he has decided to do is to now mass produce this kind of house for other people. In case anybody out there is interested in having a house that will be self-sufficient, he has bought acres of land in Lakwe beachfront in order to construct an off-grid estate. And what you guys are seeing is what he would be constructing. All these houses would not be using NEPA, and they will be constructed with laterite bricks. If anyone is interested, he's looking for 10 people, just 10 people to start out. The price starts at 34 million naira for 3 bedrooms, and you can pay in installment. He has a contract readily available, readily prepared, which you can share with your lawyer to know if that's a good deal or not. I mean, some people may feel like that's a lot of money, but it's a one-time payment that you no longer have to worry about electricity bill. You no longer have to worry about paying them to empty your sock away and stuff like that. It's a one-time payment that you know that from beginning to end, you know your house is complete and self-sufficient. Anyway, I asked him, by the way, I said, what if someone is interested right now and they decided to pay you, and along the way they decided they're no longer interested, they don't like what they are seeing? And he said to me that your money is refundable, as stated in the contract. He said he will give you back 95% of the money, and the remaining 5% is for administrative charges. He's using a system of interlocking bricks instead of the traditional style of construction. And this system results in a house that is 10 times stronger than traditionally built house, and also more terminally efficient. Each home would have its own fire system and will be conveniently located by a fire hydrant in order to make it easier for fire crews to help just in case of an emergency. We'll be building common areas that will have a gym, a playground, swimming pool, ball courts, grocery stores, and so on and so forth. And more importantly, the houses in his estate will reduce global warming and human carbon footprint. So guys, if you're interested, please check him out. This is his website.